babies, how many of us been hiding in the night, man, in that little fright that, oh my goodness, we might get it right. Hey baby, now we're coming back into the daylight. You notice that? It's getting bright out there, baby. How about inside of you? Are you still hiding in the night, afraid to take flight? Or you floating in the air and saying, hell, I don't care. My heart's here, so why shouldn't I be? You know, we're all free. It's Friday. Free Day Friday, here on the Coyote Medicine Show with Grandpa Coyote, don't you know? Yeah, you're a little heart attack in the morning, man. Yeah, well, let's call it a wake-up call. Be more genteel about it, because this ain't a painful thing. This is rearrange the pain so we got the greatest gain so we can move on from there and don't have to hang out and be square anymore, man. We can be round and found, flying in the air, back to our natural place of being there in the clouds, because we're all divine little angels, don't you know? So says Grandpa here this morning on this Coyote Medicine Show, getting you guys up there and going, man, getting in the flow, babies. Oh my God, you glow. Mary Jane loves you, by the way, and I'm saluting you the Mary Jane way with my Mary Jane Gateway to Paradise mug. You can get yours over at thecoyoteclub.com. Coyote is spelled with a K, and so is club, because K is the way here when you're speaking with Grandpa, wouldn't you say? Yeah, it's very clear. K makes the K sound. C can be anything, but K got some strength. So it's thecoyoteclub.com, and you can get some strength in your heart too by sipping coffee from a divine mug like this one. We got several different varieties. The official Coyote Medicine Show coffee mug, you got to have that one too, babies. You see, we share with you freely here, and you share with us every now and then, because we're listener supported. You know, I'm getting I got some ideas cooking, and I'm putting them together, you know, because we need to increase our funding a little bit so I can expand the horizons here a bit, you know, and get on with the program, get on with the show. So we're just doing a little, you know, expansion. I'm going to get like a Coffee of the Month Club, Grandpa's Coyote's personal choice for the month. You know me, I'm an old cowboy. I know coffee, man. I'm a cowboy gourmet, babies. When it comes to coffee, I know the way, man. I've made a scientific study of it for years and years now, man. You know, I've sipped the worst and I've sipped the best. Everywhere from east to west and north to south, and, you know, even in the Dakotas, too, where they don't even know what coffee is to brew. It's too damn cold up there. They can't do it. Sorry, just kidding, guys. It is cold, though. You got to admit that. Well, guys, simply put, old Grandpa here was made for loving you back into being yourself. You see, that's how you manufactured me. You see, you're the universal heart that creates just what you need in this reality, and here I am fulfilling that little need. Isn't that sweet? Well, guess what? You're doing the same thing for me, because I got some transformation to go, don't you see? Yes, indeedy, babies. We're all just catching on, John. And little Jane, oh, babies, it's time to release that pain. You know, you've knuckled under for so long that you think it's real, that you got to be like that only from pain can you create. We've been talking about that earlier today already now, ain't we? Yeah. And babies, it's like, wow. As you know, step back from your works of pain now, you know, you get the heart's view of what's really going on there. You start to see the artistry in all of it, you know, from the worst of it to the best of it. You know, every picture has dark shadows in it. You know, that's what gives it a feeling of life. Contrast, shading, you see. And every life the same way, but it just adds to the texture of the grand color of it when you're seeing it from, you know, a little different aspect, you know, because the heart knows what a work of art it is, and it shares that vision with you as you allow the old blockages around it to melt away. See, that's what we're doing here today. That's why we call it Free Day Friday. We're setting the heart free, you know. Feels like, you know, to some, that it's been in a prison, you know, that it's been restricted, that you could only feel so much, could only love so much. There was always this gnawing frustration that you weren't quite there in the feeling, you know. And it's numb when you were a kid, and then you got to work your way out of that and let yourself begin to feel. And most people go the opposite direction. They become increasingly numb as they get a little older and go through some harsher experience, or get caught in a routine, a dull life, you know, stuff like that. Man, you know, but what does that do? That takes tremendous courage and strength to even endure such a life as that. You know, the mundane routine thing, the one that really just dies on the vine and you have to go get thrills on the weekend because, God, it's so boring to be what you're being, you know. But somehow you got in that cycle. You know what I'm talking about. It's excruciatingly painful. And that's why you have to be numb to do it. That's why you become a frickin' zombie and just go through the motions, because that's all you're capable of in that situation. Yet your heart is dancing with delight the whole time you're going through all that dark misery, man. It's seeing the beauty, man. It's seeing what you're really creating, because in the next lifetime, you're going to be so God-blessed restless that you're going to explode and become another Van Gogh. Yeah, why not, man? You know, probably in the work of film. Film is the ultimate artistry in this life, you know. It really is. I love it, man. I have since I was a kid, you know. The idea that you can create on celluloid and on a screen because of it, an image, a feeling, a life story, an incident, you know, and study it in intricate and exquisite and artistic detail. Just get to the meat of it, but you display it in the most simple of ways and through the most simple of gestures and words and in spectacular grandeur of nature and God and all this good shit we got on earth here, man. That's a movie, man. That's a movie moment. That's why they call them movies, because they move you, you know. And a lot of people, yeah, they've used them for brainwashing and mind control and shit like that since God knows when. Look at those World War II. If you guys ever have some time, I'm sure there's a bunch of them on YouTube. Go pull up some of those World War II newsreels they used to show people in the theaters before there was TV, man. And everybody went there and watched them, too. Go look at that shit. Talk about propaganda, blatant propaganda. Holy crap-a-moly. And here they were accusing the other side of that when they were, you know, totally trying to turn everybody here into mindless warrior-like sheep, you know. Well, they got shorn a little bit, didn't they? And we're still getting shorn on that side of it. But again, as we have progressed through our pain, Mother Earth does too. And this time, without restraint. She's, you know, this is like birth pangs for her. What would you call it? Not birth pangs, what do you call it? Labor pains. Yeah, gosh. Going around. I mean, I have trouble with the third dimensional reality now. It seems kind of like the unreality. Yet I'm still here living in it. It's weird, man. So I'm real forgetful because I live kind of in the flow, you know, and I just, you know, my connections, well, you know, and I'm sure I'm going to strengthen them here, but it's like this life that we've been living is just like mostly illusion. And it's just, I mean, you know, that disconnected feeling is coming because if we're not connected, the flow goes beyond that. This is some sort of staging, a dramatic play that we just act out things in that we've already created in the heart realm or the spirit way or the mystical realm, if you will, understanding now that the divisions again are dissolving away, you know, and so this old 3D no longer is in play, and that's why we feel a little disconnected from it, because we're moving beyond it. And it is dissolving away. Amazingly so. And as it does so, we begin to discover the divine presence of angelic beings inside of ourselves and know what it means to be a star child. A child of the universe. The golden ones are having fun here on a Free Day Friday. You're about to release it, babies. All of it. Just let it the fuck go. Give it up. The disharmony doesn't belong here, and it's not you. You know, it's not. You've kidded yourself, you've chided yourself, you beat the heck out of yourself again and again, trying to force yourself forward. When you knew you were already there, that you were just playing frickin' games. You had to, because you had to have something to do in that boring old life, you know. I really don't think there's anything worse than boredom, the feeling of boredom. I think that's sheer hell. I think that's all the terror of the universe in one little moment, man, when you're just bored, you know. I think that's the most painful existence there could ever be, man, because that pain just like a rock, it just hangs on your heart and tries to pull you down. Gravity, baby. It just gets deeper and stronger. It's like, oh, shit. You know? How many of you have been in places like that? You know what I'm talking about. But you also know what that does to you in the long haul. You finally live long enough to see it now, but in the long haul, babies, that was the fastest way you could progress. So you pulled yourself way down in the shithole. You know, you gave yourself major compaction and compression, and some, real dark demonic shit came along, you know, and kicked your little ass, but you kicked ass right along with it. You don't take shit from nobody, you know, you're a trooper. And babies, out of that dark place, maybe you finally were the alcoholic dying in the gutter. And one morning an angel come and tap you on the shoulder and says, hey brother, hey sister, what you doing down there, you know? You ready to fly? And you thought about it for a moment in your alcoholic haze and smelt your stinky old body and etc. And you says, shit, yeah. And on we go with the medicine show. You see, it takes that sometimes to flip you, to get you back into your heart. You know, it's again an arousal, a motivation for creativity. But this is the reason that humanity has such a great difficulty in letting itself dissolve away the pain. It's gained so greatly. You look at the magnificent works of art, and they're not just paintings hanging on museum walls either. It's all over through this life. And you look at the magnificent work that's come out of this great pain, this great creation, you know, and our positions in it and all the little parts we play here. My God, what a dramatically beautiful, poetic little play we've been acting in, man. I mean, let alone the things we create as we go through it in this dull, mundane reality that is so spectacularly expressed, beautifully so, by nature all around us, and we deny her. A lot of people don't even go there. They live in the concrete jungle and stay there, you know. They never go anywhere, man. Jeez, wow. Again, the mundane, the painful. And live in a little box surrounded by 3-4 million people and don't know anybody. Keep it all in your little absorbed world. Boy, that's exclusion. But that's pain. That's fear. You know, the maximum amount of fear, man. That's living, you know, in the deepest kind of turd-headed reality. So that what? You can come forward into life. You live in that tiny box until you frickin' die and become stinky and melted down before they even know you're dead, man. You know what I mean? It happens that way. But guess what? When you died, you came back to life. And you all of a sudden experienced the sheer joy of being able to endure the great agony. Because you took it all on you. That was the whole earth living in you there and all of her pain. That's why you couldn't get out of that fucking box. Incredible how we can do that as a person. Take on the energy of all. Yet we have legendary people that have legendarily done so, right? Not realizing that that's a living example for the rest of us. We can take it all on and process it. Because guess what? When we're working on our personal stuff, when we're going through our motions and coming back to life, letting the heart lead us, getting in the flow, well, babies, it's the fulfillment of the divine presence within you. And everything that ever is and ever was. I mean, this is the moment that everyone, everywhere, and any time that's ever been lived has been waiting for. The great artists included that we are. And babies, it's just time to begin to experience and express yourself as the divine being that you are. You know, you come out of that, you know, when you die uncharacteristically, you know, and rot away in your apartment until, I mean, that's how removed you are from your world, though you live in the midst of the busiest, buzzingest city ever there was, you know. Your energy, your life is just sheerly, that's the divine coming forward. It's just sheer, what? Contentment. You see, there's always this poetry, and guess what? Because you can magnetize through that life, again, I point out that the next one, because when you went in for the overhaul, which is what we do when we supposedly die, we go in for an overhaul. And when you went in for that overhaul, you experienced the great joy of being able to endure through the agony of the greatest pain there ever was. The pain of the mother, the pain of the mother's heart, seeing her children tormented. She don't really give two hoots about what you do to her, how bad you pollute her. You know, I mean, she don't want you doing that, of course, but it's what she feels is your agony. The pollution is just part of it, and she's more than willing to bear her share, you see. We're going to transform all of that, babies. This callous reality is dying. A very dissolving away kind of death. It's a beautiful thing. It's a transition into life. You know, and it's held the ultimate darkness for what? Just like that one person did in that little box in the midst of that great big city. Well, the reality around us is, you know, heaped all of it on us, and we took it, and we processed through it, and we transformed it, and now it radiates throughout the reality. You see, we're the babies of creation. Only we, the little sinner cells and atoms and EVs and whatever you want to call us, little neutrons and protons and electrons, etc., become, you know, these particles of life that change everything. You know, it's the new clear explosion. You know, clarity comes to each and every one of us as our divine heart accepts the contentment of its appreciation of all facets of living. Every life we've ever lived and all the events and moments we lived through in them. In this 3D, which is always extended beyond 3D. You know, you guys are troopers. You've been here again and again, and each and every time in some way, even if it's as abject as dying off and nobody knowing you were, you know, even if something as abject and alone as that, you've come to share the wealth of your heart and convey the love and energy into a moment or two in time that keeps humanity going. You know, just enough love flowing through it, just enough conscious presence to keep the whole show going, shooting match running, even though it became a shooting match. And, you know, there were lots of heinous things going on and shit. One sweet, loving moment could compound itself so greatly. And between 2 or 3 human beings, one sweet, loving moment could compound itself so greatly as to buy us another 100,000 years of coasting through the darkness. You see, that's how significant these moments have been. And many of you are having memories now surface. You know, conscious little flashes of having been there, done that, ain't you? See, you're starting to see the painting now. You're stepping back from the painting you've made here, and you're looking at it at a different angle, a different direction, and there's light on it. So you can see it very clearly, you know. So you're beginning to expand and grow because of the painting before you, but you realize that you also are that painting. That this creation of art, this work of life that you fulfilled in love, is the fulfillment of the divine dream. You know, the full presence of it now can be experienced because it chose to avenue itself through this concept of polarity and darkness for a while. It strolled down that avenue and, you know, got itself beat up pretty bad. A bunch of gangsters around there, and it didn't like you strolling through their neighborhood. But somehow you managed, and then they were your friends, man. Crazy stuff, isn't it? See? Now that alone person, you know, that rotted away in the apartment, man, is coming back to life in a different way, you know. This time they get to fulfill their dream, too. Their own personal dream. See, we all have that, too, because it's a part of the greater aspect, of course, and just an expression of it. And, you know, now our personal dreams, because everybody's had this thing, you know, that I want to do this, I want to do that, you know. Whatever it is, you know, it forms more in visual than it does in thought, you know what I mean? But everybody's had that, and now it's becoming more consciously present, and you're seeing that you really can allow yourself to flow in that direction, and to be okay with where the heart takes you and leads you, you know, to be okay with the creation around you, you know. You know you're here to change it, and just by getting into that comfortable space you already are, even if you're still living in that box and you ain't died and rotted away yet. Just remember, you carry the ultimate pain for the ultimate gain. And pain is the illusion, you know, even though you can feel it and it expresses in your body and producing your dying of, you know, bad cancers or something, you know. It happens. Because you believe in it, you cling to it, you know it's helping you come back to life. To feel more strongly present in your heart than ever before, just by taking it away from you and stomping on it sometimes. I mean, it hurts. Yet that pain, again, I point out, is the illusion. We've felt it. We've experienced it. We've let it restrict us to the point where we feared everyone and everything. You know, we've really gone to some weird and unusual places with this. But the divine presence is finding itself in that gritty darkness and all that harsh experience. And you know, there are souls of saints going through these processes on both sides of the military fences, whoever's military and against whom. Nowadays it's just the Nazis against everybody, it seems like, ain't it? And no matter where you be, it seems like the whole world's gone that way, doesn't it? The ultimate darkness. Well, just remember, this time it's like the effect of the darkness before the dawn. But look, it's already puttering out. The sunrise is already coming up. The Nazi way is not the way of today. It may have been yesterday and the day before or something like that, but we're here now. We're rising up on this free day, Friday, setting the energy of our heart free to experience the true aspects of its life, to appreciate what we're really doing here. The colorful artistry of the dance we're doing with one another as well as with Mother Earth and her creation around us, man. Yes, indeedy. See, it flows from her. The earth and sun, the earth flows up through your feet, the sun down through your crown, and they merge in what? The central area of the heart and bring forth the creation around you. See what a creative little being you are? Now do you understand what it is to be the center of creation? And how it is, in effect, we neutralize all polarities because we see ourselves at the center of that creation. And creation's just simply expanding and growing around us, and there's mother and father energy in it all. And yin and yang is the what? I mean, it's just expansive growth. It's a movement of love, I artistically sometimes describe it as, this very slow motion wave that you experience sometimes in the love-making attitude. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very soft. It's very, the feelings are just expansive beyond profound. But yet they're like so soothing, so sensually soothing that they actually bring forward this very, very soft moment of completion and joining but it's in a wave that's experienced in two individual persons as presences in these physical reality bodies, But the spirit heart beyond it is practicing its joy through this animalistic ritual that becomes like this soft, exotic dance, It just goes around, the spiral of life and encompasses all of it and becomes one within it. It becomes the soft swirl of glowing light rising upward that is life. That's how I can sometimes describe it. You see what moments we're capable of? Have you had a moment like that? Do you remember that? Is it still living within you? Is it growing now from you? That soft, sweet movement, that one movement, it is all of those movements. It's when the waves of the ocean join in completion with the sky and the earth and the sands of time. It completes something. End of a long cycle and season, beginning of emotion in love that is so deeply content, it's felt from your bones and something else outward. And expands into the creation in the same way. This great contentment cannot be confined within a human person. It grows way beyond that. Because again, we're right there at the center of that creation, and that's what we're doing in that moment. That soft, sweet movement is uniting the earth and sky, and the angst lives no more. We've given up our pain finally, and even the score. How's that for a wake-up call once again here, babies? On the Coyote Medicine Show with Grandpa Coyote, helping you get in the flow. Well, don't you know? azradio.com, babies. We got it on. Your heart, that is. Open sesame.